Atlantis the Lost Empire is an underrated Disney gem that often gets overlooked, but is beloved by those few that grew up with it. With Disney seemingly remaking their entire animated library into live-action films, it should only be a matter of time before Atlantis gets the same treatment, right? So today, we're gonna imagine that this movie is actually happening, and we're gonna cast it. Right off the bat, we need our main dorky hero, Milo Thatch. Milo is a bit trickier than other Disney protagonists in that he's fairly average. He's lanky, socially awkward, and kind of speaks like Harry Potter on Felix Felicis.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Or Felix does. Hi.
He has this dorky, relatable charm, and his relatability is one of the film's greatest strengths. A lot of the internet seems to want Tom Holland in the role, with some less than reliable sources even going so far as to say he's already been cast in the movie. Spoiler alert, he hasn't, because they aren't even making the movie. Yet. Holland to me looks too young for the role, and this is coming from a big fan of his. While Milo looks like a young adult, he is still that. An adult. Holland is too baby-faced for now. However, I think a different Spider-Man actor would be perfect for the role. Andrew Garfield. While I may not be the biggest fan of his Spider-Man films, I saw the potential in Garfield as an actor. He can be funny, charming, and a little bit awkward, I'll admit, but he can also pull off the dramatic and serious when the movie calls for it. Garfield is an often overlooked actor since departing Spider-Man, and I think he would be perfect for the role of Milo. If Milo is going on this adventure, we need a beneficiary to finance the expedition and give Milo the motivation to go out and do it. In the movie, this is Preston Whitmore, an eccentric old man who used to work with Milo's grandfather. While not a major character for most of the movie, he does essentially get the adventure started and brings the emotional connection to the story with his ties to Milo's grandpa. So for Whitmore, I went with an older actor who you could immediately buy as someone that has been around the block a few times, while also leaning into kind of the kookiness of the character.
He never mentioned you.
Oh, we wouldn't. You knew how much I like my privacy. I keep a low profile.
I think Sir Ian McKellen would be perfect for this. He has that naturally likable demeanor and can be quite funny when given the chance. And face it, he already has experience sending off heroes on journeys that they are clearly not ready for, only for him to disappear for most of the movie. The other key character for Atlantis is Kida, the princess/love interest of the movie. Other than Milo, this is probably the hardest pick for me because there's a lot of things you have to look for in the role. They need to be able to portray kindness and compassion while also being believable as essentially a warrior princess, as a character that holds their own in a fight and more often than not has to save Milo. For that reason, I could see Rosario Dawson as Kida, with roles in Zombieland Double Tap and the Marvel Netflix shows. She's proven herself to be a great actress and also one I could buy in a fight. And if the reports of her playing Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2 are true, that's just another Disney connection for her that makes this a little more believable for me. One of the reasons Atlantis is so well remembered is because of its strong supporting cast of lively characters. Take, for example, Mole. What is Mole? Who is Mole? Why is Mole?
He's a mole. I think he eats the dirt.
These are the questions we may never fully get for the man who simply loves dirt. While the internet's top pick is Danny DeVito, I suggest another comedic name that I think would be perfect for the role. Nick Frost. With movies like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and more recently Fighting with My Family, Frost has been proven to be a consistent funny man, one whom I could see enjoying dirt.
Moles don't eat dirt.
Next up is Vinnie, the explosives-loving florist. This one I fully agree with the rest of the internet on that Sacha Baron Cohen would be perfect for the role. While his brand of humor may not be for everyone, he does still have some genuinely good performances and can still be family-friendly funny when the time calls for it. Just look at his great work that he did in Martin Scorsese's Hugo. After Vinnie, we have Audrey, the tomboy mechanic. Audrey is the tough one of the group and can easily hang with the boys, but has a soft spot when need be. The actress that immediately came to mind for me was Tessa Thompson. From her roles in Thor Ragnarok and the Creed films, Tessa has been putting in some great performances, as well as tough, no-nonsense characters that can still be loyal with a heart of gold. My personal favorite of the supporting characters is that of Dr. Joshua Sweet, the expedition's medic. Again, the internet has its clear favorite with Terry Crews, which is a fine pick to be sure. However, I would go with the rapidly rising star, Winston Duke, also known as M'Baku from Black Panther and Gabe Wilson in Jordan Peele's Us. Duke has a wicked funny bone and already looks perfect for the part. Rounding out the supporting characters, I'd have Wallace Shawn as the trip's cook, Cookie. And TV's Margot Martindale as the monotone Mrs. Packard, or the beta version of Roz?
When he says to me, oh, hold on a second, Margie, I got another call.
Well, isn't that nice?
Now that we've taken care of our heroes, who plays the role of the villains? In the animated version, we had Helga Sinclair and Commander Rourke. For Sinclair, I'll go with an actress that already has action movie history as well as history as playing the villain. I think Charlize Theron would be perfect for the role of Helga. As a character you can never fully trust, I can buy Theron as one people would take orders from, but never fully trust as the good guy. Commander Rourke, on the other hand, is more blunt and matter-of-fact. An imposing figure with an even more imposing voice, it's his way or the highway. Rourke needs someone who immediately commands respect with a voice that lets you know right off the bat, he's in charge. That's why I go with Ron Perlman as Commander Rourke. He has that great presence that whenever he talks, you listen, and I could fully buy him as the villain. He's got the voice and the physicality that I think would be perfect for Commander Rourke. Well, what do you guys think? If they ever made a live-action version of Atlantis, who would you like to see in the movie? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, or find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Uncharted Media. Stay sharp, movie guys and gals.